take a look at selected items from the Mike Coltrane collection of rare US banknotes that came to the market over the last year or so. While by a long stretch not the most valuable note featured, it is one of the more interesting ones, as it represents not only a snapshot of the evolving monetary but also political climate in the newly declared independent country at the time. A $20 note from the state of Georgia, dated May the 4th, 1778, printed in black and red ink by W. Lancaster of Savannah. It utilizes the rattlesnake seal, as with earlier issues, printed here in blue, with the Latin motto Nemo me impune lacessit, translating roughly as "No one provokes me without impunity." This motto is also again represented on the reverse or the back of the note. Graded as choice uncirculated 64, it sold at auction for $2,160. An even earlier example is seen now from 1776. This series was only issued in two denominations, a $4 note and a $1 as seen here. Of interest to note in this case is the fact that it states the note is payable in one Spanish milled dollar, while the 1777 note would reflect that it is payable in continental dollars. And then the 1778 issue, as seen just on the previous listing, any mention of such specificity has been removed altogether. On this piece, the seal is adorned with the image of justice. It is graded as extremely fine 45 by PMG to sell at auction for $4,680. A discussion of early paper money of the United States will have to wind its way back to the colonial issues eventually, and from there the bills of credit of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Well, strictly speaking, this 1740 dated 2 shilling and 6pence piece had precious little to do with the government, such as it was, but was instead a private scheme organized by one Isaac Winslow, known as the Boston Silver Bank. The scheme had consisted at its peak of 107 members. This still attractive note was authenticated by PMG with a net grade of very fine 30 to sell at auction for $12,000. And now we have an extremely high-graded example of a classic $5 silver certificate from 1886. This so-called silver dollar back, very appropriately so, depicts a series of 5 Morgan dollars on the back of the note. This is the type with the very unmissable large red seal right next to the portrait of Ulysses Grant. This gem-level example was graded by PMG as Superb Gem New 67 with a designation for premium paper quality. It sold at auction for $39,600. And then an absolute classic design of the early American legal tender notes. This spread eagle design $100 greenback dated 1863. A large denomination note executed with deliberate attention to detail from the American Banknote Company. PMG assigned a grade of choice VF 35 to this note, and it sold at auction for the sum of $87,000. One of the stars of the interest-bearing notes to arise from the Act of March 3rd, 1863, is the present $50 issue, valid for a 2-year term at 5% interest, wonderfully vignetted with a trio of female allegorical representations. From left to right, you have Caduceus at the far left, Justice in the center, and then Loyalty towards the far right. Only 8 examples of this note can be traced, including an example in the Smithsonian. With the current one graded as VF30 by PMG, it managed to raise a total price of $96,000 at auction. The Treasury Notes, issued pursuant to the Act of February 24th, 1815, were intended to help eradicate the debt the nation had ran up in fighting the War of 1812. They were redeemable against regular debt instruments and would become the model for the demand notes of 1861 that would be issued following the start of the Civil War. Here we have a $10 note that is fully issued with 3 signatures, all hand-signed by prominent citizens of Savannah, Georgia during that time, indicating where the note was emitted. PMG also assigned a grade of Very Fine 35, which saw this piece close at auction for $132,000 at auction. Yet another offering was this $3 note from the same issue as the one before. Again, this example was fully signed, issued, and remains uncancelled. This is a crucial detail, as most examples of any denomination today would be either cancelled or remaindered, meaning that they were never fully issued at all. The condition of the note also indicates that they were, at least at one point, used as circulating mediums of exchange. This example is unique and was largely unknown altogether before 2004. It was graded by PMG as Very Fine 25 and sold at auction for $168,000. Notes from the Union National Gold Bank of Oakland are the rarest of all of the national gold banknotes, and with very good reason, as the very last location to receive its charter in 1875, which was the last year of issue for these notes. As it happens, it never really had a chance. Today, only 8 notes are reflected in the census, with this $100 bill counted as unique, meaning it's the only known example of this piece, assessed by PMG with a net grade of Fine 12. It's actually fairly common for these issues to be seen in lower grades like these, at least below VF. This example sold at auction for the sum of $144,000. The national gold banknotes were actually an indirect result of the gold rush, and as a direct indication of that, 9 of the 10 issuing banks were chartered in California, with the only one outside of the state being the Kidder National Gold Bank being located in Boston instead. The biggest thing setting these particular notes apart is the fact that they were redeemable in gold coin. The vignette on the left of this note depicts the Battle of Lexington, with the depiction of liberty on the right entitled as loyalty. High-grade examples of these notes are almost never seen, and of those, the Petaluma charter is an especial treat, assessed by PMG with a grade of choice EF45, making it the finest known $20 gold note, which sold in turn at auction for $204,000. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon so you'll know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.